Hello everyone and welcome to Nara's Tarot. Thank you very much for being here. In today's reading, we are going to take a look at what is unfolding in your life right now. And I'm keeping this question pretty open-ended to look not only at what's new that is unfolding, but also just what has been unfolding. Maybe there's something that has been going on in your life that you would like some clarity, and Spirit might come through with a message for that in terms of why something is happening, what does it mean, what's going on, what's really unfolding over there. Okay, so if this reading resonates with you, please go ahead to choose your pals. This is pal 1, pal 2, and pal 3. So feel free to pause the video here to connect with your pals, and I will see you at your reading. Hello pal 1, welcome to your reading. So we're going to start off with your tarot cards, and then we'll grab some oracle cards to look at what is unfolding in your life right now, okay? So starting off, we have the 8 of Wands in reverse. Immediately, I'm picking up with this card stagnation, and there's a lot of frustration coming through when I'm looking at this card. I feel like some of you might be in a place in your life where you feel like you've been stuck there for a while. Nothing really has been changing. And I'm also hearing from Spirit that you've been doing your best to change or to create changes in your life, but things externally have still been stuck. And I'm also hearing that some of you have gone through very major internal changes. This could be a lot of healing work that you've done, a lot of personal or self-development, spiritual development even. And you've done all this work to grow yourself internally, but you're struggling to see the external changes being reflected in your life. So there's quite a lot of frustration when I'm looking at this 8 of Wands in reverse here. This mask is also very interesting, that's calling out to me here. It's almost as though some of you feel like you have to wear a mask when you go out about in the world. It's as though who you are on the inside, oh, that's it. Who you are on the inside, because of all of that growth that you've done for yourself, doesn't match who you are on the outside. So it almost feels like you're wearing a mask, and it's not authentic, to that deeper inner truth that you've held for yourself. Like maybe you know all about your worth, your potential, you know exactly what your path and your purpose is, right? But there's something about kind of like actualizing it in real life that seems to be, I'm not sure, there seems to be some kind of roadblock or something just isn't flowing in that way. So it feels like we're inauthentic to that internal vision that we're seeing for ourselves. All right, let's take a look at our next 2 cards, see what else Spirit wants us to know. Wow, we have the 5 of Cups here. And I love this image because look at how illuminated this person's mind is, like his head, his body is illuminated, right? And that's wonderful. And then we also have the 6 of Wands. Beautiful. Beautiful. So what is unfolding for my pal? Oh, and hang on, let's look at what's underneath the deck as well. We have the 3 of Swords in reverse. Yeah, I mean, the 3 of Swords in reverse very clearly. I mean, it's also telling us a similar message to this 5 of Cups here, where we're able to move on from this frustration and pick ourselves up and be able to find success. Now, the 5 of Cups, the way that he is able to move on from the setback that he experienced is by focusing on the 2 cups that are still standing. Is by seeing that he has these things on the table, that this is what he's working with, that this is what he has in his life, and he's going to make the best out of it. And it's maybe for some of you, you might be looking at your life right now and you're feeling like it's not a very ideal situation to be in. But Spirit is saying that this here is the gem. What you lost, you didn't need it. You're telling yourself that it would have been so great if I had all 5 cups here with me, right? Either all of the resources, all of the time, all of the energy, all of the maybe connections, you name it. You might be feeling like you need all 5 cups in order to do the thing you want to do, but Spirit is saying what you lost, you didn't need it in the first place. And the things that you have left are the things that you actually need. So consider how you already have you're it's almost like you have all of the ingredients for to be able to meet your potential. uh, and you're experiencing this in, I'm almost hearing like it's a fork in the road. I don't know why it's a fork in the road, but maybe because we're at this 5 point, and fives are like transitional change. They represent change in numerology and tarot as well. And you're at this turning point where a lot of things that didn't serve you, a lot of things that were not energetically aligned with you, had to be removed or had to be let go of in your life. And you have had to do the difficult job of letting those things go. Because I think for many of you, it just wasn't easy to let go, because those were things that you cherished, whether it is people, whether it is a place or some kind of situation. You really cherished it, and that's why it hurts, right, with the 5 of Cups. But the things that you have right now left standing in your life is exactly what you need. Now we move on to the 6 of Wands here, which is really, really positive energy, because this is success, this is recognition, this is you finding your way again. So if many of you have felt lost coming out of the 8 of Wands to a 5 of Wands situation where you were stuck, not 5 of Wands, 5 of Cups, where previously you felt stuck and then you feel like you've lost something and you've kind of like lost your way in life and you can't really quite figure out what you're supposed to do next. What's unfolding in your life also is so much more clarity about your path, because the door is finally open. Sometimes we need recognition from other people to also then be able to see our own worth, right? This is confirmation in its most I want to say, what is the word? Like it's confirmation in the most. It's literally at the tip of my tongue. But what I'm trying to say is, it's like this is the kind of confirmation that is so conventional that you would want, from people around you. It's not where you have to be your own biggest cheerleader. This is not that kind of confirmation. This kind of confirmation is everybody in your life, maybe even strangers, maybe even people that you are acquainted with vaguely. Everybody is supportive of that path that you've taken, and it is such a big nod of approval. And yeah, I think that's the feeling that I'm getting. It's confirmation in the form of approval. And I know that sometimes we don't necessarily want to be chasing after approval, but then it really helps. Sometimes this approval, external approval, it really helps us to also be able to see the things that we have already been approving of ourselves internally. It's just such a big confidence booster. And I think many of you, what's unfolding for you right now in your life is that boost of success, the boost of like recognition that you've been working so hard towards, because you haven't gotten this level of recognition before. And when you do get it, it's almost like, yes, this is what I've been working towards. This is what makes everything worthwhile. This is what I've been asking for. This success, this recognition, this perhaps for some of you even fame, the eyeballs and the attention that you get. This is what you've been working towards, okay? So let's take a look at our oracle cards now and see what else Spirit wants us to know about what's unfolding in your life. Okay, we have a lot of cards, and I tend to like to just take what comes up, and I feel like, actually, like in my own observation, small sidetrack, when I do readings for myself, I tend to get like 1 or 2 cards only when they just flip out. But when I do collective readings, a lot of cards come out, and I think I recently had an epiphany that, hey, maybe it's because it's a collective reading, and a lot of people are watching this, and different messages will resonate for different people. So anyway, I digress. The cards that you have here is number 38, Metal Ox, Experience the Greatest Love. We have 29, Water Dragon, Manifesting Your Dreams, absolutely. We have here Water Monkey. Is there one more card? No. Number 9, Water Monkey, Conquer Your Fear. As well as Earthbird, this is 46, Phoenix rising from the ashes. Well, these cards I feel are very, very you. Very you. Underneath the deck, we have Earth Pig, Surrender to the Moment. This is card 36, yeah. Uh, you are manifesting your dreams, Pal One, and this is what's unfolding in your life. What's also amazing is this Phoenix rising from the ashes card, which I think really represents your journey. You've had to rise from the ashes with this Five of Cups here. And I'm hearing for some of you, the breakdowns that were happening in your life were so over the top. You know, it was like so much to handle that you really have to be proud of yourself from rising above from those ashes. You really have to give yourself a pat on the back for that and really congratulate yourself for it, because it was not easy. All right. If nobody has told you that, let this be the place where you remind yourself that it was not easy to have risen from the place that you were at. You might kind of like take it lightly, you might just like glaze over that part of your life, that chapter, and you're just hyper focused on your success and your future and everything you want to manifest, that you don't realize that you've come a really long way, Pal One. All right. So what's unfolding in your life is, well, in addition to you manifesting your dreams, there's also this metal ox here, experience the greatest love. And this card here, there's a whole folklore behind this imagery here, which I won't go into. It's like a Chinese Asian folklore. You can find it in many different Asian cultures. But basically, it's the idea of two star-crossed lovers who overcome many, many, many odds to be able to meet with each other again. It's kind of like the Chinese Valentine's Day story. I mean, it is. So this, I feel, it's not just, if your situation is love related, then claim that. But I feel for many of you, this is also you meeting the love and the match of your life when it comes to any other aspect, not just love, right? It could be your career match. It could be a house match, you know, it could be a dream job, or it could be a dream city or a dream lifestyle, or some kind of dream match that you finally get to come together with it. You overcome all of the odds to finally come together with this thing that is your greatest love, and that is what's unfolding in your life. Also, you guys have been conquering your fears left, right, center with this water monkey here, and it's something I almost hearing like there is like this one final push to overcome this really, really core fear in your life, and you'll be able to see what really has been holding you back. You'll be able to see and really kind of like transcend this chapter fully. When you really understand the impact that this fear has been having in your life, you'll be released from it, all right? So the work has been ongoing, and that revelation is also something that's unfolding in your life right now, all right? Let's see what else comes through for my pal ones. We have a time for healing, balsamic moon. As well as meditate and contemplate new moon in Pisces. And underneath the deck, we have a new romantic cycle begins, new moon in Libra. Okay, so pal ones, if you are thinking about love, definitely this is a message that is coming up and confirming itself again. So claim that love message if that's you, pal one. But for others of you, and looking at this more generically, I would say that you might be ready to go. You might be wanting to be like full speed ahead. Let me just get my 6 of Wands. Let me just get that success. Let me just, be hyper productive and just go towards it. But there's something about this energy of healing and contemplation that maybe is needed for this time being. So some of you might be feeling like you need a little bit more rest these days. You're feeling a bit more quiet, like you need more time for yourself. You need maybe even to slow down for some of you. And this is very much you kind of like processing this 5 of Cups energy, processing the things that you've lost, being more intentional about looking at what you have in your life and be able to express that gratitude. This kind of integration is happening in your life, and it's almost calling for you to like take time for it to sink in and really be present to this integration. So I feel like some of you are wondering if it's okay to be a little bit more gentle with yourself, if it's okay to not go like crazy full speed ahead with your dreams and your goals. It is, because it almost feels like it is a time for healing now. This is the time for it. All right. And take that time when your body and your mind, your soul needs it. All right. Now let's get you from this horse deck. We have Kelpie, initiation and remembering. And then we have, whoa, that was fast. We have ambassador, invincibility of spirit. And underneath the deck, we have grace, when hearts become whole. Again, this love message is coming through again. So Palwans, if you are in disbelief that love is possible, well, you are getting the attention, you're getting that kind of recognition in the love department. And if you're manifesting somebody, I feel like it's very possible that you'll meet them. I wouldn't say timing. I wouldn't even say meet them soon, but the message here is, this love chapter is definitely unfolding in your life right now, okay? And the reason I'm not talking about timing is because I feel like sometimes it's easier to manifest if we let go of timing. And anyway, that's not the point of this reading. So looking at your cards here, initiation, remembering, and invincibility of spirit, the keywords on these cards are very spiritual, like the initiation, remembering, spirit. It's all speaking more towards the higher chakras, that spiritual layer, right? And so the message I feel for many of you is there is some kind of download coming in from the higher realms, and that download that's coming in is going to help you to ground yourself and be able to manifest, because manifestation is an energy where it's as above so below, and so you want to create the kind of success in your everyday life. There's also some kind of higher level frequency that we are tapping into to reach that new 3D reality. And I feel like for many of you, this state of integration, this time where you're spending to heal, to contemplate, it's also giving you the space to receive a very important download that will help you to manifest. So please do not worry too much or be too anxious about your next steps or what you're supposed to do. It will reveal itself to you at the right time, and all you have to do for now is to allow yourself to receive the downloads that you've been calling in. All right, let's grab you your final affirmation cards just to see what Spirit wants to leave you with. And we have, I am deserving of respect, love, and happiness. I give respect, love, and happiness too. And underneath the deck, we have, the love within me is more powerful than doubt or fear. Beautiful. So pile number 1, this is what I see for you. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope this reading brought you the clarity that you were seeking, and I look forward to reading for you guys in future as well, okay? Bye now. Hello pile 2, and welcome to your reading about what's unfolding in your life right now. So we're going to start off with our tarot cards, and then we'll look at oracle cards to unfold this question for you, okay? So the very first card you have is the Knight of Pentacles, followed by the Fool, and the Four of Wands in reverse. Oh, okay. And underneath the deck, we have the Six of Wands, success. Beautiful. Pile number 2, what's unfolding in your life right now is you forging out on your own. You really doing something on your own terms. Nobody else is able to write in their TNCs, able to give you any conditions. This is you making something out on your own. And pile 2, I want to say that it's taken some time to realize what this means for you, or what is it that you want. It's taken some time to get clarity about that, and it's also taken some time to find your footing and find the opportunity, find the path for you to forge it out on your own. with the Knight of Pentacles here and patience, this is that very intentional, careful, meticulous energy of you planting the seeds, being extremely consistent in building up this life of yours that you want to lead on your own terms. And the Fool card is you here ready to go. You're ready to forge out on this new beginning. You're ready to take that step to say, maybe, okay, I'm going to leave my work and pursue my business because it's at a place where I can make a full-time income from it. Or maybe this is some of you saying that, I'm ready to, I don't know why, but ready to maybe become a parent. Or maybe this is not a human child, but a fur child, so fur baby. So you've been making all of these preparations to finally be able to take that step on your Fool's journey, on your life path. And it's been such a rewarding journey, I feel, from the Knight of Pentacles to the Fool. Now, there is this Four of Wands energy over here, where in this journey, what Spirit wants you to know and what's unfolding in your life is almost like a breakup with everything that, with partnerships that really weren't that equal. Partnerships that really weren't that partnered. Like people didn't really have your best interests at heart. There may be some communities or agreements or contracts that you were part of that it was very unequal, and it wasn't giving you enough. It wasn't giving you how much you were giving to it. And in the process of you becoming the Fool and taking that journey on your own, you're also walking away from these unhappy partnerships. And this card over here is kind of like sticking out a little bit. This Four of Wands is sticking out a little bit because it feels like a sore point in an otherwise very happy and very enjoyable kind of like new beginning that you're happening. Sorry, I had to pause the video there because there was some like loud noise outside my window. But anyway, we were saying that the Four of Wands kind of feels like a sore thumb sticking out because this is that ending and the closing of some kind of unhappy situation in your life. And amidst you walking on and moving into this path that feels uniquely you and tailored to you because you made it such that it's for you, right? It also means that this is the sacrifice almost that we need to make. I don't know why it feels like a sacrifice, I don't know why it feels painful or it feels at least uncomfortable to move on from this unhappy occasion. Maybe because I feel some of you like devoted a lot of time and energy and like you genuinely put a lot of heart into building this partnership, into creating something worthwhile out of it, and having to walk away from it knowing that it wasn't what you thought it was, it still kind of stings, So this is life in and of itself, right? It's never really perfect, and it kind of like shows us different parts of what we encounter. And as much as there's this really beautiful new beginning opening up for you, what's maybe happening in the background for some of you is also closing off a chapter in your life and walking away from something that you thought could have been more. Okay, but overall we have the Six of Wands, success, underneath the deck. So this is what's really unfolding in your life. It's that success, it's recognition, it's acknowledgement from people. It's also people celebrating you and celebrating your achievements and what you do and what you bring to the table. All right, so very, very exciting new beginnings for you, pile number 2. Let us grab you your oracle cards next to see what else Spirit wants you to know. All right, okay, we have here, ooh, drop that card, Fire Monkey, time to embrace change. This is card number 33. And there's this fork in the road message here. I believe it is pile 1 where I said that they were dealing with a fork in the road. I can't quite remember, but if you were Pal 1 and you're coming in to listen to Pal 2, this message is for you. You guys are at this junction where you have to choose whether or not you step out on your own or whether or not you stay in the contracts, agreements, or partnerships that you've always been in. And this is something that free will is here for us to exercise, right? We all have free will. Spirit will never force us to go down one path or the other. We always have the choice to decide what's best for us in that moment. And there's something about this choice that is a little bit difficult to make, and I think that's why we have this Four of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, and Fool kind of spread going on here. What's difficult to make about this choice is because both options feel a little bit too similar. If you don't investigate further, both options feel similar. It might be giving you a similar level of comfort or similar level of stability or similar kinds of outcomes in your life. Maybe, for instance, going back to the business example, maybe if you were to stay in your 9 to 5 versus leave for your business, maybe you're going to be making the same amount either way. You know, you're not going to be making that much more doing your business, and you might be wondering, well, is it worth it taking all this risk to become a business owner when I have a stable 9 to 5 job? There's something about the choice that is not so straightforward to make, and both outcomes feel too similar on the surface, and therefore this message is coming through here to really investigate a bit deeper. Ask yourself, what is the life that I really want to create? And if I were to write it on my own, no terms and conditions, just exactly what I want to, how would it look like? And maybe I'm even hearing, maybe when you do that, you might experience a third path, or you might see a third path for yourself, because this fork in the road, it feels very binary. It's like I can either stay in my job or leave, or stay in this relationship or leave, or I stay in this city or leave. Like it's a very binary choice. But what if there's a third path here where we're not forced to make an either or? We can actually have some kind of blend. You know what I mean? So I don't know what exactly that will look like for many of you, but it's almost like when you actually write your life and your goals out and create that vision and tell Spirit that vision on your own terms, and not restrict yourself to anything that you would like to see in that life, it opens up a path that is so uniquely yours that you're not faced with this kind of binary as well. All right, let's see what else Spirit wants you to know over here. Ooh. All right, we have here Waterbird, speak your truth. What were we just talking about? Pile number 2, you got to speak your truth. You got to tell yourself honestly what you want in your life. You cannot lie to yourself. You cannot compromise. You cannot settle. This is not the time for settling. I feel like this is a really powerful moment for many of you to tell Spirit exactly what you want, and you might be surprised that you will get exactly that. Okay? I am speechless, but we have Water Horse, a path to independence. This has been our whole reading, Pal 2. This has been the whole reading. This is a path to independence. We're looking at a path for you that you get to create without any other external conditions, meaning you don't sign T&Cs that somebody else wrote. You create your own circumstances, your own conditions, your own everything. This is your path to independence. This is what's unfolding in your life, Pal 2, a path to independence. So speak your truth, Pal 2. Tell Spirit, tell yourself exactly what you want. And you might just be surprised that you will get it. All right. Underneath the deck, we have Metal Rabbit, a state of graceful movement. All right. So easily, gracefully, gently, you will almost like float to that path. Just effortlessly get to that point of independence. It's not something that you have to try. The Fool doesn't need to try, right? He has so little baggage on him. He has so little considerations in him that he doesn't have to try to become the Fool. He just does. And it's sometimes when we overthink, when we overanalyze, when we overdo something that we kind of like divert from the path that we were set on because we're trying too much or we're doing too much, you know. So just be the fool. Really just take it easy. Speak your truth. Don't be afraid. That's what the fool does. He just is, right? He just saying that this is what I want to do, and this is exactly how I'm going to do it, and he just does it. And this, I think, is your time to just tell the truth and be yourself and be very honest about what you want to create in your life. Okay, let's see what else comes through for my pile number twos. We have don't let your past hold you back, South Node. Very apt card for you as well, I must add. And let's see. Ooh, okay. I'm gonna grab these two because this kind of fell a bit weird. But we have nothing will come of this situation, void of course moon, and believe in the impossible, blue moon. Yeah. I think some of you feel like you're trying to be realistic with yourself, and you've been doing that very intentional planning, planting of your seeds. Everything about you until now has been very, very careful with the Knight of Pentacles here. And that's very wise, and it's a very real approach to making things happen, right? But at this juncture, it's calling for us to be a little bit delusional at this point and believe in the impossible. And I don't really like to use the whole delulu thing, but this is what it feels like. It's calling for you to really just believe wholeheartedly in that dream of yours, and think of the impossible. Think of everything that you want to create in your life, and just tell the universe that that's what you want and make it happen. Okay, so don't let the past hold you back. And if there's anything that you're worried of or that might affect something in this outcome that you're looking for, just know that nothing will come of that situation. Rest assured that it's going to be okay. All right, underneath the deck we have emotions are running high, super moon. Okay, so this might be a time when you're experiencing a lot of high highs and low lows, and it could feel a little bit intense for my power twos. But it's also probably a sign when you experience these high highs and low lows that you're very close to the place you want to be, because like energetically the frequency is just raising up to a point where it's calling for us to like transcend. Okay, let's see what else comes through for you. We have wonder, seeing the world through the eyes of a child. All right, what do we have here? We have Concilium Equorum. I don't really know how to say that, but it says here Sacred Covenant. Create chorus, laughter is the best medicine. As well as Ex Tenebris Lux, from the darkness comes the light. Okay, and underneath the deck we have here Heriath, letting the earth teach. Interesting. So when I look at all of these cards holistically, the thing that I'm hearing is we are being called to see things with a lot more lightness, especially with Create Course and Wonder. When we think about a child, children don't know limitations, right? Because they haven't been conditioned by society that way. They maybe don't even know the limitations of their own bodies, right? And so that's why we see some children maybe playing a little bit too much, and they didn't realize that they physically are exhausted. But that's children for you. They don't know the limitations. And I think these cards here are calling for you to come back to that more childlike feeling, to bring that childlike essence back into your life. Because as if you were a child, and if you could just tell the universe what you want, right? That this is all of the candy that you want. This is all of the sweetness that you want, and you have nobody telling you that you can only have 3 pieces of candy a day, or that you can only eat candy after your meals and not before. If there are none of these restrictions and you can just have all of the candy that you want, this is the kind of energy that we're being called to bring to the universe. Just say it. Just tell it as it is. Just tell the universe exactly what you want, and almost like have an air of lightness to it. It's not so serious. It's not so crazy to think that this is possible for you. Okay, and then from that lightness comes these 2 cards here, Sacred Covenant, and from the darkness comes the light. these two cards bring about that energy of seriousness and groundedness. You are being heard, pile number 2. When you bring your desires over to spirit, you are being heard. The group of horses over here, this kind of like council energy, is telling me that your guides, your angels, the goddesses and gods that you work with, they are listening to you. And while you take your lightness over to them, they're able to take it very seriously and bring you the things that you want, and be able to maybe even show you how to get to the place you want to be. There's a duality over here of us being childlike in front of the universe, and the universe knowing exactly how to bring about our deepest, innermost desires. All right. Let's grab you your final affirmation cards to see what else Spirit wants you to know. We're just going to take that one here. And it says here, I don't compare myself to others because I am not meant to be a copy of anyone else. I was born to be me, an original, one of a kind. I am happy to be me. Beautiful. Underneath the deck, the love within me is more powerful than doubt or fear. Pal 1 also got this, so I feel like some of my Pal 1s might be here. But anyway, this has been your reading. I hope it brought you the clarity that you were seeking. Thank you very much for being here, Pal number 2, and I look forward to reading for you guys in future as well, okay? Bye now. Hello, Pal 3, and welcome to your reading about what's unfolding in your life. So we're going to start off with our tarot cards, and then we'll grab a bunch of oracle cards to look into this question, all right? So starting off, we have the Page of Pentacles, followed by the Four of Wands, as well as the Ace of Wands in reverse. Okay. Underneath the deck, we have here the Knight of Swords in reverse. Oh. You know, one of the things that many of you are unfolding in your life right now is more stability. The Ace of Wands and the Knight of Swords both in reverse. It is giving me a little bit of like chaotic energy, times when there's been a lot of conflict, a lot of challenge, and maybe there were just a lot of misunderstandings happening, and you kind of had to deal with a lot of things on your own as well. But the fact that these two cards are in reverse is also telling me that this situation is kind of like being dropped out of your life. You know, it's not something that you will need to keep dealing with, moving forward. And what is unfolding in your life is Page of Pentacles and the Four of Wands. Both of these cards have a lot more groundedness and stability to them. The Page of Pentacles, it feels like, you know, when you're in a stable time, it also means that you can actually plant your seeds and take the time you need to like grow and learn. And previously, you might not really have had the time of day to just learn and expand and take your time to do that. But right now, with the newfound stability that you have, this is giving you the space to like learn new things. A good example I want to bring is maybe, for instance, like previously it was so chaotic for you, like life was just so chaotic, schedules were so chaotic that you didn't really have time to like think about maybe how to clean your house, how to do the chores, how to like maybe even like clear out the mail and like sort through everything and be able to like pay your bills, like do the admin stuff. Like I'm even hearing for some of you, you didn't really have the time to like learn how to do the life admin stuff. And apply this to any situation that you're in. But when this chaos and craziness ends in your life, it really allows you to like sit down and sort through your shit and be intentional about how you're doing things. And when you're intentional about how you do things, it also allows you to learn what you like, what you don't like, what your preferences are, what is the best way to do something. You know, you're not just trying to fight the fire, but you actually can set up, you know, a best practice for maybe dealing with a work issue, or dealing with some kind of household chores issue, or maybe it's dealing with, a life admin stuff, and now you actually know how to best deal with this company or with this um, you know official kind of like government thing, right? You know how to deal with it, you know how to deal with the paperwork, I want to say, because you have the time to actually figure it out. I don't know if any of that made sense. I feel like I was going off on like so many tangents, but let me know. The other thing that's unfolding in your life with the Four of Wands is more unions that feel equal and partnerships that feel harmonious. If you are looking for a love situation, then claim that. But I want to keep this general, so it may not just be love unions that you guys are coming into, but just unions maybe when it comes to compatibility in any sense, career compatibility, maybe even financial compatibility. Like now, what you're spending is actually more in line with what you're earning, and you're actually able to keep things under control and have some kind of like a happy place where you can save and grow that your income, and the Four of Wands is a temple. It's a space for things to actually come together and grow and develop themselves, and this can be applied to any situation in your life. This is perhaps a space for your finances to grow, a space for love to grow, a space for maybe even your home to have more love and more harmony in the home as well. Okay, so yeah, I think overall it's just a lot more stability coming through for my pile number threes. Now let's have a look at your oracle cards to see what else Spirit wants you to know. All right, we have here water bird speak her truth, and water horse, a path to independence. Very funny because pile number 2 got these two cards. Is it pile 2 or is it any? I can't remember, but like I think it was pile 2 that got these two exact cards, and I shuffled this deck for sure. So the fact that these two cards came out is wild, but yeah. I think what comes through for you guys and what's unfolding is a path to independence where you're not being held back by things that were chaotic and things that were kind of like messing up your energy, things that were just draining you and not really giving you anything. You're definitely walking away from those situations. And I think one thing that helps you to walk away from those situations is by speaking your truth, is by maybe even telling people that, hey, I don't appreciate the way that things have been between us. Could we work something out? And if we can't, do we go our separate ways? Do we just walk away from this partnership? I think there's a kind of like honesty and almost like bluntness that you guys are stepping into, that it's not coming from a place of maliciousness. It's really just coming from a place of like, genuinely, I'm tired of this thing happening and I would like to just move on because it's not sustainable, and like that's just the place you're coming from. Underneath the deck we have Metal Dog, simplify your life. Yeah, that feels like this reading right now. It's you guys having to or really desiring a lot more simplicity, because chaos, madness, and complexity has been ruling your life for way too long, and I think the stability and the breath of fresh air is much needed. Much needed, okay? So, let's see what else comes through for you. We have here, it's time to release negativity, full moon in Scorpio, definitely. Your dreams need a practical plan, full moon in Taurus. And then we have conclusions are within reach, full moon eclipse. Okay. Underneath the deck we have what do you need to release, waning moon. Yeah, it's a season of releasing for my pile threes. Okay, you're letting go of everything that has been very negative. I feel with this full moon in Scorpio card, people and situations that just have been energetically low and just pulling down your vibration, that's what you need to release. right? And I feel like for some of you, these people have been telling you that your dreams are too wild. They have been telling you that the thing that you want to create in your life is like this fantasy, it's this crazy out there vision that's never gonna happen. That's the kind of energy that these people are bringing to you, and it's really bringing you down because they're not even giving you the time and the space to grow into that version of yourself that can make that impossible dream possible. So they've been telling you that your dream is so crazily big, and you're no longer buying that. You're no longer saying that you're no longer aligned to thinking that you're too small for your dreams. Instead, you're saying that, you know what, I'm dropping you guys, and if I need to grow to become the person that's meant for my dreams, then I'm gonna do that. And I'm gonna learn and grow and build myself up and create that life for myself. But it's not up to some outsider to tell me what to do with my life. There's a kind of like badassery that you guys are definitely stepping into as well. All right, power threes. Let's see what else comes through. We have Longma, leading with integrity. Ooh, that card kind of flew, and we have Anbar, lifting the veil. Yeah. Yes. Underneath the deck, we've got Equus Kavanagh, unearthing the creative impulse. Okay, so for some of you, you might be wanting to do something creative. It might be some kind of self-expression or some kind of art that you really want to create, and this is the time to do it. Allow yourself to act on that creative impulse, okay? But with these two cards here, this is definitely lifting the veil of everything that has been out of alignment with you, but also lifting the veil to everything that you are in integrity with, right? Because you are in alignment with your dreams, living that dream and living what's in your soul, and living that life is being in integrity. But waking up every day and lying to yourself that this routine, that this life is okay, that it's fine, it's something that is not that bad. We tell ourselves all these things, but it's still not in alignment to who we are on the inside. And the thing is, everybody has a different version of what that ideal life looks like, And if we don't allow ourselves to even try to make that ideal life possible, I think some of us can really feel pretty beaten down by life in general, because it feels meaningless and pointless in a really sad and strange way. The thing that I'm getting with these cards here is that your dreams may not be that crazy really if you put them into perspective, but it's people who think that your dreams are crazy that are trying to convince you that your dreams are crazy and therefore that you are crazy. And it's just crazy to them because they can't imagine a life for them that way. They can't imagine that kind of life for them, but you are not them. And I think that's the breakup that we're really noticing right now, that we're not these people, and we don't have to adopt their opinions. We don't have to take on their position. They can believe that, but they are not the master of your dreams. This is you taking the reins back and definitely lifting that veil into your heart and into your soul of, well, what do I want? Where is it that I'm in integrity with? And I think the moment you speak your truth and the moment you stand in integrity with yourself, it's really hard to turn your back on that. It's going to be really hard to say that I can ignore this feeling. All right? So that's what's unfolding in your life. Let's see what else, some final affirmations that Spirit wants to leave you with. We have here, it is safe for me to explore unknown worlds and try new things. And we have, the universe is always helping me, sometimes in unexpected ways. Underneath the deck, we have, I choose to live with courage. I do not allow others to intimidate me. That is very true. I stand my ground. I never give up. this is your card. This is for you, all right? So pile number 3, this is what I see for your reading. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope that this reading brought you the clarity that you were seeking. And I look forward to reading for you guys in future as well, okay? Bye now.